Now on Chronicle.
Baseball's it's a wonderful game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
America's favorite pastime. Celebrating major milestones in the Carolinas.
The longer we're here, the more embedded we are as part of this community.
20 years of the Greenville Drive.
Community is at the heart of everything that we do.
Plus, an exciting inaugural season.
Baseball is back in the Burg.
For the Hub City Spartanburgers.
Having baseball back in the Burg has been a dream come true.
And making big renovations to the home of the Asheville tourists.
Yeah, it is growth. Our community is growing, and we are growing with it.
We've hit a home run with baseball.
The teams transforming the cities they call home.
It's a grand slam for everybody.
We love our baseball. It's the American pastime.
Now on Chronicle. Batter Upstate.
Welcome to Chronicle. I'm Jane Robelo. On any given day this time of year, fans in mid-sized towns all across America will be cheering for the Mud Hens or the Fireflies, the Mighty Mussels or the Lugnuts. Minor League Baseball feeds a hometown spirit, and Greenville has embraced it for 20 years now, right here with The Drive, as Spartanburg enjoys its very first season with the Spartanburgers. It's more than a game. It's all about what baseball can bring to a community.
Welcome to Drive.
Good. Thank you for coming out.
Baseball.
And welcome to Ford Field at the West End.
The crack of the bat. The roar of the crowd. Rooting for the home team. Minor League Baseball is a fun, accessible, affordable game changer for cities.
It's just perfect. It just blends in so well.
Greenville staked its stadium in a blighted high-crime area.
We made it a real catalyst for the redevelopment of one of the toughest areas in our downtown.
The site of an abandoned city-owned lumber yard. This stadium changed everything.
Oh, changed everything. And not just the footprint of the stadium, but the entire neighborhood surrounding it.
20 years ago, New York ad executive Craig Brown built the $20 million Greenville Drive Stadium at his own expense, a mini Fenway Park.
You could see that at least it looked like it almost fit.
But Mayor Knox White and city leaders had already put in 10 years of effort
here, and this is the concourse
to make it happen.
It's squeezed in there next to the railroad tracks, so it made for a very tight site.
The stadium had to be in downtown, and this tight site was right on Main Street. Minor League Baseball officials saw it as a grand slam.
One of the guys also said to us, we measure out minor league baseball stadiums all over the country, and we think this is one of the best sites for a minor league ballpark that we've ever seen. And that was extremely encouraging to us.
City leaders were also determined to incorporate something that was revolutionary at that time.
We kept it up. We stood the line on that and said, no, you had to be mixed-use stadium.
Private developer David Glenn built the apartments, restaurants, and retail part of the stadium using bricks recovered from old textile mills, a unique nod to the history of the West End.
Well, we've had a tremendous return on investment here. There's no question about it.
It immediately became an economic catalyst. The Greenville Drive's impact is estimated at more than $288 million, with 500,000 fans visiting the ballpark for events throughout the year.
It is definitely more than just coming out and watching a baseball game. This is transforming the city of Spartanburg.
Other cities have taken note of Greenville's success, including upstate neighbor Spartanburg.
With the Greenville Drive celebrating 20 years, it does give us a benchmark of what could happen.
Having baseball back in the Burg has been a dream come true.
2025 marks opening season for the Spartanburgers, and Mayor Jerome Rice is already seeing an economic impact.
And we don't have numbers right now because baseball is still so new, but we can see the number of people that are being activated downtown.
On game nights, Mayor Rice says Morgan Square, the historic cultural center of the hub city,
and just something different to do other than just being at home,
is alive with activity.
And it's good to see that is, coming to life.
As people walk to the nearby Fifth Third Stadium.
We're hitting a home run with the redesign of Morgan Square. We've hit a home run with baseball. We hadn't hit a grand slam yet, but when everything is all said and done, we'll hit a grand slam.
Baseball helps build cities into places people are proud to raise their families in. Initially, the drive was just an investment for owner and chairman Craig Brown, but Greenville became home.
But he fell in love with the community, moved his family here, where he's been ever since. He's active in everything from the Chamber of Commerce to the hospital board.
The stadium knits together new Greenvillians with legendary ones. What would he say about all that?
Oh, he'd love it, because and it's in the west end of Greenville, so it nods to the past, but it also points to the future. It's a grand slam for everybody.
It's more than an economic return on investment. The team and the stadium create an emotional attachment to the town all year round. Events here at Fluor Field draw nearly 500,000 people a year to the West End. 20 years is such a special milestone for the entire Greenville Drive organization. Julia Morris brings us the perspective from a key member of the Drive who's grown up right along with the team.
Greenville Drive General Manager Eric Jarinko has been part of this organization from the very beginning and is now proud to have called Greenville home for the last 2 decades. Eric, you started with the Drive back in 2005 as Director of Media Relations. 20 years later, you're sitting here at Fluor Fields as the club's General Manager. How have you seen this organization transform during your 20-year tenure?
It's been a fun ride. I came down to Clemson 22 years ago and really fell in love with this area, like most people do. The more I learned about the business side of minor league baseball, the more I got involved in this community. I mean, you just realize how special of a town, how special of a business, how special Fluor Field is to call, your workplace.
Here in the Palmetto State, football can be king, but year in and year out, we see packed houses at Fluor Field, and the community really rallies behind this ball club. Why do you think that is?
I mean, credit to Craig Brown and the Brown family for having the vision of creating a downtown ballpark. And, it was 20 years ago at the groundbreaking that Councilwoman Fleming said this stadium is going to be about more than just baseball. Craig even says that when we meet the team at the very first time each April. He says to them, when your journey ends, and we hope that's in front of a locker at Fenway Park, we want you to look back on your minor league career and say that Greenville was your most favorite stop along the way.
120 Drive players have made it to the big league level. Some big names like Anthony Rizzo, Mookie Betts. Who's your favorite player that you've ever seen wear a Drive uniform and why?
That is tough. And there's cool stories behind each guy. I mean, Mookie had his breakout year in the minors with us in 2013. But the one story that sticks out to me about Mookie was the day he got promoted to High A at the time, which was Salem, Virginia. It was an off day, mid-July. He and 3 other players had signed up to do an appearance at the Children's Hospital at Greenville Memorial, and he got the call that morning that he needed to be on his way to Salem. And I called him and said, hey, congratulations, best of luck, we loved having you. I know you're signed up to do this appearance. I'll find somebody else to fill your spot, that way you can hit the road. And he's like, no, I signed up to do that appearance, I'm going.
While the individual players are so special themselves, as a team, this organization has accomplished a great deal over 20 years as well. What's been your favorite moment on the field that you've witnessed the Drive accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be our first South Atlantic League championship in 2017. It may not have been the most prospect-laden team, but those guys really gelled together, especially at the end of the season. So that's extremely memorable. And then 2023, just winning our second South Atlantic League championship. I think over the course of that season, we had 20 of the Red Sox top 30 prospects. So it was just a lot of fun to see the players that came through there that are now having success, AA, AAA, and then even Christian in the big leagues already.
When you think back on your time here, the memories that you've made, what stands out the most?
I think the best part is whether the Drive wins or loses on the field, it's coming to the ballpark every day and seeing us create lasting memories, whether it's for our fans, whether it's for our front office members. Things like that is what makes everything so worthwhile in what we do.
And when I asked Jarinko what the next 20 years holds for the Drive, he mentioned possible ballpark enhancements, seeing more women involved in minor league baseball as a whole, and of course, more championships.
Eric told Julia that he originally thought he'd only be here 3 or 4 years, but he says this community, this organization, year after year, makes it an easy choice to stay.
Coming up next on Chronicle.
The vision was creating a very welcoming and inviting place that everyone can come to.
How the Hub City Spartanburgers built a stadium, a brand, and a fan base for their inaugural season.
Baseball is stitched right into the rich history of the Upstate, and Spartanburg is writing a new chapter with the Hub City Spartanburgers. Our Chase Justice shares what this team means for both the Spartanburg athletic scene and for the community.
Ever since the Spartanburg Phillies moved out of Duncan Park in 1994, one of the hub cities of the Upstate has long awaited a team they could call their own. But when Tyson Jeffers received word that he'd landed his dream job, taking over as the new general manager for a brand new ball club in Spartanburg, South Carolina, the new gig came with one giant stipulation.
One of the most frequent questions I got was, is it going to be ready by April 15th? And even sometimes I'd cringe as I say it, but I'd always say yes.
The race was on. 18 months to build a ballpark and a fan base from the ground up.
At its essence, the vision was creating a very welcoming and inviting place that everyone can come to and everyone feels like they have accessibility to, and picking the great things from ballparks and organizations around the country that do it really well and trying to loop all of those into what we're creating on a game-by-game basis, and I think we were able to achieve that.
And Hub City's front office didn't have to look far for an example of what a minor league baseball team can do to revitalize a city.
Now I always try to give credit where it's due. Greenville did a really good job with Floor Field and what the West End looks like right now, and I believe that that's the greater vision for here with Fifth Third Park and it being the conduit to many other pieces that will fall into place in the next several years.
A vision that Spartanburg's homegrown mayor, Jerome Rice, shares as well.
There are at least 28 people a day, on average, 28 people a day moving to Spartanburg County, on average. So does baseball enhance that? Yes. This is transforming the city of Spartanburg, Spartanburg County, the entire Upstate, making it a destination spot for people to come.
And for a team named the Spartanburgers, it's only right the park comes equipped with the largest burger bar in all of baseball.
We call them Best Bites.
And plenty of other features that have already served more than 110,000 hungry fans.
The thing that fills me with a lot of joy is when I'm walking someone around or I'm hearing someone on the concourse having a private conversation and they say, I grew up in Spartanburg, I've lived here my entire life and I've never seen it from this perspective. I've never felt this energy within Spartanburg, and to be able to bring that to people means so much to myself and to our staff, and we just want to keep delivering those memories and those smiles.
Seeing your vision come to life, seeing the overwhelming response from the people of Spartanburg, how special has this process been for you?
It feels really good to be part of that, and that when you start talking about the Hub City Spartanburgers or you start talking about Fifth Third Park, you see people light up and that they're already having those moments and those memories.
Bringing Hub City together, one pitch at a time.
And yes, the Spartanburgers do boast the biggest burger bar in all of pro baseball, but there is something else at the concession stand that Mayor Jerome Rice names as his favorite.
There's not a Mayor Rice burger, but there's a pizza. It's the margarita pizza. That is just awesome. My wife and I had never had it until we went and had it in the baseball park. And the margarita pizza, you have to try.
And at Floor Field, Mayor Knox White sticks to baseball tradition. What's your favorite thing to eat when you come to a ball game?
Oh, it's the only time I'll eat a hot dog.
But the gold standard for any good ballpark? Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
When Chronicle continues, the Asheville tourists hitting home runs for more than a century.
Our community is growing, and we are growing with it, so we're excited about that.
Major renovations underway at historic McCormick Field.
Baseball is a sport that connects the generations, and the Asheville tourists have roots that reach down more than a century, even welcoming legends like Babe Ruth, who once called the ballpark a beautiful place to play. Aaron Baker takes us inside the storied history of the tourist with a look at what's ahead for the next 100 years.
101 years ago, Calvin Coolidge was the president. J. Edgar Hoover was appointed to run the FBI. And McCormick Field opened for business.
This ballpark belongs to Asheville.
Fast forward from 1924 to 2025, and the Asheville tourists bring in 180,000 fans a year. Locals and tourists alike taking in a part of Western North Carolina's history and its unique ballpark.
We are landlocked, which was hard to build around, how to figure out how to add space, but it's also amazing. You know, you look out there and you see the grass, the mountains out there.
But the team itself dates back even further to 1915, one of the top 10 oldest minor league team names in the United States.
People have asked year over year, you know, if we were ever going to look at changing the name or doing anything. And because, you know, there's a lot of people that take jabs at tourists, but, you know, if you dig into it, it's synonymous with the area.
According to the MILB, it started as a nickname coined by local journalists at the time because the players were from cities across the country. If there's one thing that comes with the passage of time, it's experience. And the Asheville tourists have a unique distinction that no other team in our area has.
Very generational thing. You know, you see 2-3 generations at games together still.
Generational experience. Over a century of knitting the community together through the game of baseball and supporting the community.
Our community is growing, and we are growing with it, so we're excited about that.
In the days and weeks after Helene, they were some of the only tourists in town.
We did everything we could to contribute, volunteering and doing everything for almost 3 months after the storm.
And in the weeks after, the team hit a different kind of home run by serving Western North Carolina in a time of need.
You know, we basically put baseball on the back burner and just did everything we could to assist those that needed it.
One of the team's charity efforts, partnering with the Greenville Drive to launch AVL versus GVL.
They hatched up this plan to do it and to wear these matching jerseys, you know, AVL versus GVL, auction them off for charity. We decided this year all the proceeds would go towards Asheville, but in the future, maybe whoever won the series, their community's charity would get it.
The team is hard at work planning for the next 100 years of baseball in Asheville.
We want to be 100% entrenched in how to help this community grow, you know, through the good times and the bad.
Including a significant $40 million renovation, the first since 1992, with improvements for fans.
A brand new entrance, which is like a welcome mat to the ballpark. New video board, which is going to be amazing, show instant replay, and some new picnic areas.
And for players as well.
New clubhouses for both teams. It is provide female locker rooms for coaches, umpires, support staff. You know, new weight room.
A storied team reflecting on its legacy and writing its next chapter.
Everyone will look back one day and say, you know, this was something that was awesome to be a part of.
You know, I feel like when the ballpark opens up in April 2026, that will be the official We Are Back Asheville.
And those renovations that will benefit baseball games will also give McCormick Field the ability to host other events all year round.
The roots of baseball in Greenville.
That's one reason he was so good, is because he dedicated himself to be the best he could possibly be.
How shoeless Joe Jackson and the Textile Mill Leagues laid the groundwork for minor league success today.
He just loved it so much, it was in his blood.
Still to come on Chronicle.
a ball, a bat, and enough land for a playing field. Ingredients to knit communities together. And that's just what baseball accomplished in Greenville's textile mill communities. Carol Clark shows us the ballparks sparked greatness and spawned some of the greatest who would ever play the game.
Come on, come on, come on! On any given night, attaboy, you can hear the crack of ball against bat and running feet at Shoeless Joe Jackson Memorial Park in Greenville. It's a tradition that goes way back. At the turn of the last century, Greenville was the textile capital of the world. 19 textile mills and their villages overlapping to form what was called the Textile Crescent. Workers lived here, and to keep up morale, they played here too.
And one way they did that was they started building baseball parks or areas to play baseball. And it just picked up. These folks enjoyed it. The owners knew that if they had a really good team, everybody wanted to be part of that mill community. So that's what they would do.
It became more than just a game. In the mill villages, nearly everything, employment, housing, shopping, was controlled by the mill owners. Baseball provided a place for fun and entertainment.
We didn't have a lot of recreation. We didn't have a lot of things going on. And it was such a big deal. It was for them to bring in the baseball.
It was such a big deal that Textile League baseball grew to the level of semi-pro. And it became a place for individuals to shine. People like Joe Jackson, who started working in the mills when he was 6 years old. When he was 13, he went to play baseball for the Brandon Mill.
If you're good enough as a teenager to play with 20 and 23, 24-year-old guys, it's going to make you better.
His precision and power with the bat made him a local celebrity and eventually a legend.
Ted Williams, who was one of the greatest hitters, contact hitters ever, he would strike out once every 11 times at bat. Joe Jackson would strike out once every 21 times at bat. He was so solid.
It was in the Mill Village League that Joe Jackson got his nickname. He'd just gotten a new pair of cleats and they hurt, so he took them off and ran the bases in his stocking feet. He was rounding third when a heckler in the stands yelled out, "You shoeless son of a gun, you." The nickname Shoeless Joe Jackson stuck for the rest of his life.
It was a life that took him to the major leagues. He seesawed between the majors and minors until his first full MLB season in 1911. He set rookie records and with the Chicago White Sox won the World Series. When the White Sox lost the World Series in 1919, 8 players, including Jackson, were accused of throwing the game. In 1921, a jury acquitted the Chicago 8.
Well, baseball didn't hold to what they had given Joe Jackson. And when he was found not guilty in a court of law, he was not put back in baseball.
But Joe Jackson found a way to keep playing and managing in semi-pro baseball. He came home to the South.
He would have probably played for nothing. Just because he just loved it so much, it was in his blood.
Lester, who's kin to Joe, remembers visiting with Joe and his wife when he was a little boy.
There were several times whenever I would slide into his foot as a base, and my daddy would chastise me quite a bit and say, "Don't do that, you may hurt him." And Joe would, every time, his response was always the same: "Don't worry about that, Larry." He said, "He's not hurting a thing, let him play."
Lester was among those who couldn't let it be that Joe was banned from baseball. He began a 40-year campaign to get him reinstated. In May, Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred changed the league's policy on permanent ineligibility. Bans now expire after death.
I'm tickled to death and thrilled that he's being put back into baseball. But I want him being put back into baseball without any kind of asterisk beside him.
Joe Jackson now becomes eligible for the Hall of Fame. And in the end, his record speaks for itself. The 4th highest batting average in history at .356. The textile baseball leagues have quite the legacy.
It did occur to us that West Greenville was a perfect spot for a baseball stadium with the longtime heritage of the textile leagues in West Greenville.
There are even bricks from the old mills used in the construction of Greenville's floor field. The city's own Field of Dreams, where on a warm summer night, with the crack of a bat, one can imagine the players of the past meeting those of the present and the future.
1, 2, 3, hey!
And on the very site where Joe Jackson played in the city textile leagues, Greenville County has a memorial park in his name, and his former home is now a museum right across the street from Fluor Field. And another important part of Greenville's baseball history is coming back to life in 2025. A significant contribution by Greenville Drive owner Craig Brown and his wife Vicki is helping the city restore and preserve Mayberry Park. They're rebuilding the historic baseball field. Now it's part of Unity Park. But Mayberry was first established in 1925 during the time of segregation. It was the only park where black children were allowed to play. Mayberry was the home of the all-black team, the Greenville Spinners. It hosted adult softball games and the Sterling High team. Now, the Brown family's gift will preserve this treasure of Greenville's baseball history.
Coming up on Chronicle, the gifts keep coming.
We always want to go forward, we always want to do more, and we always want to just keep pushing that envelope.
How the Greenville Drive has made it its mission to give back to the community. Welcome back to Chronicle, Batter Upstate.
It's not just about home runs for the Greenville Drive. This team is driven to give back. Sydney Shadricks highlights the team's contributions to our community off the field.
Our desire was to be part of what we call the fabric of the community.
When Craig Brown,
now coming to the plate, second baseman,
decided to invest in Greenville 20 years ago, it was clear to him and to city leaders that the impact would be far-reaching.
When we did the groundbreaking in June of 2005, Lillian said this is about much more than baseball, and she was very right.
2 decades since Councilwoman Lillian Brock Fleming said those words, the same remains true. And Fluor Field remains more than a baseball stadium. Some even compare it to a place that, in the South, can feel a lot like home.
Fluor Field has been described as the front porch of the community. What does that mean?
It's a place where families gather, where the communities gather, where we work through challenges, where we celebrate accomplishment.
Father and son, Craig and Jeff Brown, owner and president of the Greenville Drive, don't just invite you on the porch. They open the doors and welcome you inside the house.
Baseball is only April to September, but y'all are busy all year round.
And you look outside the baseball season, I mean, we had last year probably 150 just community events and gatherings, and that's everything from Heart Walks to the Hispanic Heritage Festival to Veterans Day concert. I mean, there's something going on here that's community-centric, community-focused, almost every day of the year, which is something that we're incredibly proud of.
We allowed John to take over the entire ballpark.
This is neat, people. This is once in a lifetime.
Allow the fans to come on the field during totality. Our players on both sides came out and everybody put their special sunglasses on and literally served as a gathering spot for the entire community during that kind of monumental time in our country.
The staff, players, and coaches at the Greenville Drive average more than 10,000 collective hours of community service each season.
I found that if you show an interest in the community, if you show an interest in investing in the community, and not investing resources, but investing time and caring about the community will really give it back to you.
As part of our 20th anniversary, that the Drive is going to make a $25,000 donation.
And donations that result in more than $100,000 of giving each season.
There's an obligation, I think, to pay it forward. There's an obligation to be grateful for the blessings that we have and do our best to try to allow others to participate.
The Browns say that's always been the goal.
I think if you could kind of pare down kind of everything we've done over 2 decades as an organization, I mean, community is at the heart of everything that we do.
Making Fluor Field a place that is about more than just baseball.
Putting the ballpark at the center of the community and using it as a force for good and impact in whatever way we can.
Making it a place to gather with nearly 7,000 of your closest friends.
In these 2 decades, the Greenville Drive has had numerous achievements, and they've received many awards, from Ballpark of the Year in 2006 to the John H. Johnson Award for the top franchise in all of minor league baseball in 2017. The Drive was the Greenville County Schools Partner of the Year for 2020, and most recently, the United Way of Greenville County Spirit Award winner in 2024.
Ahead on Chronicle.
People don't realize the state of the program back then, 10 years ago.
How coaches with big league experience turned an Upstate team that was striking out into champions.
Many professional baseball players are products of successful college teams. And there's a school in the Upstate that's got a national championship program with 4 standout coaches guiding the future of baseball. Rashad Williams shows us how their decades of big league experience are transformational on and off the diamond.
Welcome to Tigerville, the home of North Greenville University. And one of the winningest baseball programs at any level the last few years.
Jumping in a dog pile at the end of the year is like absolutely the best thing you can do.
A major part of the team's success, more than 5 decades worth of combined professional playing and coaching experience shared between 4 of their coaches.
6 years as a player from 07 to 2012.
The 1-2 from Owings and swung on and missed. He strikes out Durham to end the ball game.
Hitting coach and recruiting coordinator Micah Owings.
91 through 2001 was my playing days.
And that is a rocket. Deep right center field, gone.
Volunteer coach Eddie Taubensee.
To be honest with you, I never thought that I was actually going to be able to make it to the big leagues.
Curveball strikes him out. Second strikeout for Holmes.
Pitching coach and 1998 World Series champion Darren Holmes.
I was drafted in the first round by the Oakland A's out of college.
Comes a 3-1. Fastball belted deep right center field. Anderson gives a look. Landon Powell has hit a grand slam.
And NGU head coach Landon Powell.
To not only have these 4 guys that played in the big leagues, but our other coaches who had great college careers. We have so much experience on our coaching staff. The amount of time that these guys have been around the game of baseball, the amount of pitches they've seen, the swings that they've seen, the games that they've seen, you can't imagine what kind of information and knowledge these brains on our coaching staff have.
We played in the major leagues quite a few years, but we've been out in the game a lot longer than we played.
I think the sign is pretty clear. It says North Greenville University Baseball, home of the 2022 NCAA Division II National Champions. But the coaches say it is not just about success on the field. They want to make sure their guys are prepared for life off the field.
Baseball's tough, life is harder.
Once the baseball's done, you got the rest of your life. You got, the real world is kind of waiting for you.
It's not just about how many games we win or how many awards they win. I want when they graduate from this school and go off into the world that they're prepared and they're ready to make an impact in a positive way on their community, on their family, on the kingdom of God.
A championship culture built right here in the Upstate as these coaches continue to give back to the game and instill in their players the tools they need to have better careers than they did.
If the 3 of you got a phone call right now saying, hey, come back for a season, would you take it?
My heart would be jumping, but
yeah.
I can barely walk up the steps to get up here.
Me too.
Although their playing days are over.
We can't play anymore. We can't do any. We can have an effect on the outcome, but ultimately it's up to players.
Their impact on the team will carry on for years to come, putting the Upstate of South Carolina on the map.
So if they can come to a little Christian college in Tigerville and become national champions when they're the biggest underdog there is in the whole country, then what else can they do once they leave here in the world?
And Coach Eddie, who we caught up with on Zoom, has been traveling a lot lately, and that's because his son, a former pitcher at North Greenville University, is now playing for an NLB Partner League team in Montana.
When Chronicle returns.
I want to be the best player I can be and outwork everybody.
A little leaguer, letting nothing stand in his way of becoming an all-star.
Before the fame or the fanfare, baseball players first step onto that diamond for little more than the love of the game. Our Mark Whiteman introduces us to one upstate little leaguer with big league dreams. And that's just part of his remarkable story.
Keep those hands right there, close to the body. Nice.
Sam Huguet is a coach's dream.
I think I excel at pitching, and I really love playing center field.
He's talented.
He's one of the most accurate kids his age.
I put the ball in his hand in 2 of our biggest games. He basically won the game for us.
Dedicated.
I get videos of him all the time working on his swing down in the basement of his house.
And determined.
He just loves the process of trying to get better.
As long as he and parents Jason and Jamie can remember, Sam's loved sports, swinging away.
Whoa!
By the age of 2. And what the 11-year-old does on the diamond is extraordinary.
I don't even notice it at this point. You know, what he's overcoming.
Fielding and throwing with his right hand.
A lot of people don't know, like, how to do what I'm doing and, like, what I've been through.
Just like Jim Abbott, who pitched 10 seasons in the major leagues and threw a no-hitter, despite being born without a right hand.
He did it! He did it!
Sam's had his own obstacles to overcome.
He went to bed, you know, normal, typical toddler ear infection. He was fine. And then he woke up the next morning and came out to sit on the couch and watch TV and couldn't move his left arm.
At just 2 years old, Sam was diagnosed with acute flaccid myelitis, an extremely rare spinal condition believed to be linked to a viral infection that causes sudden muscle weakness.
Terrified, just absolutely terrified. I mean, it was so unknown. They couldn't tell us much of anything. They just said, we're gonna basically throw the kitchen sink at this. This is gonna progress how it's gonna progress. I mean, it was in God's hands, and all we could do was just pray.
As the virus ran its course, the Huguets searched for answers. They found them in Baltimore at the Kennedy Krieger Institute.
I was the one falling apart initially. He was the rock who was doing all the research. Within days of knowing that Sam was gonna have to go to an inpatient physical therapy, he was like, I'm gonna find the best. And so he did.
There were so few places that seemed like familiar with acute flaccid myelitis, and they were somebody that was talking about it.
Sam and Jason spent a month in Maryland building strength and building bonds. Like a fast friendship with a rehabbing 17-year-old football player.
There was little wins there. To see him do things like playing in the gym, throwing a ball or something certainly gave you some hope that there was some light at the end of the tunnel.
There we go.
Through therapy and a nerve transfer procedure, Sam worked hard to regain mobility in his left arm. He's always working on his game, too.
He sees now that he's on a level playing field. I don't think he feels like he's below anyone.
And though his left hand isn't strong enough to control a glove, nothing a little ingenuity.
Work on your footwork.
And practice couldn't fix.
He's not looking at the negative. I'm going to find a way. And he does that in everything he does.
I know my arm isn't as strong as some other people's arms, but I want to be the best where I can be and outwork everybody.
I think he runs toward that challenge 100 miles an hour. There is no feeling sorry. There is just get better.
There's really no time for excuses.
We just wanted him to kind of be happy and confident and get the most out of what he was capable of.
Recently, he broke his right thumb, so he wasn't able to use his good hand. He called me out in the driveway, and he was swinging a bat with his left hand. And it's just, it's incredible.
Sam's coaches think that the sky is the limit, and he's determined to play both golf and baseball, and at the highest levels. Baseball is a platform for childhood dreams to be realized, while also celebrating team success. The all-American pastime knits us together, supports our economy, and it's a whole lot of fun. Thank you for joining us for Chronicle, Batter Upstate. I'm Jane Robelo. Good night.